Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm with my newly picked up Honda Civic Type R. I will do a very quick review for you just to show you around the car and also share with you some of my initial impressions of owning this car for about a week. So let's look at the outside first. So the color is in the iconic championship white color, and it contrasts very well with the black accents. For example, the black alloy wheels, the black mirrors, and also the black side skirts. Everything just contrasts with the white color very well. So the side profile of the car actually looks quite slender and long actually. Looks longer than the FK8. So the 45-degree angle from the rear, this is my favorite angle of the car. I think this angle of looking from the back looks really good. The rear fenders and the front fenders really flares out to give this really wide stance look. They look very aggressive, and also they are to house the widened 265 wide tires for this new generation Type R. And also the tri-tip exhaust pipe. So in the FL5 compared to the FK8, the exhaust pipe has a larger one in the center and two smaller ones on the side, whereas the FK8 had two large ones on the side and a smaller one in the center. So that's the difference. We have 19-inch wheels with 265 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires on all four corners. I really like the air vents on the front fenders. They are functional. And also the large Brembo monoblock 6-piston calipers. The stopping power is actually very good. Has a lot of initial bite and it's very confidence inspiring. So the front end of the Type R looks very aggressive. I really like the horizontal design of the front fascia. It looks very slick, and there's a bit of sculpted ins and outs to the fascia, so it doesn't look very flat. It has this 3D look to make it look more sculptural. So all the vents in the front are all functional. We have these large honeycomb mesh openings to allow a lot of air going into the radiators. These are openings too that direct air to the brakes, and the front splitter for aero purposes. And we have the hood vent to allow air to escape from the engine bay. So yeah, overall it's a great looking car. This Type R is powered by a 2-liter inline-4 petrol turbo engine that produces 315 horsepower and 420 Newton meters of torque. The engine bay is actually quite spacious. So Honda has been addressing the heat issue with this engine. So the radiator, you can see it's a larger one compared to the FK8, and there's more space between the radiator and the engine, so it's better for cooling. And also we have the hood vent here to extract heat out from the radiator and the engine bay as well. So let's move to the interior of the car. I really like this steering wheel. It's fully rounded and it's wrapped in Alcantara material, which feels really good in your hands. Let's start up the engine. Alright, so this is the instrument cluster. It's fully digital. You can also change the modes. So if we go to Sport, you can see that the color of the rings change a little bit into like a red color. So in plus R mode, the graphics changes again to this linear rev counter with red accents in the center. That's looking very good. I think the design of this graphic is spot on. Reminds me of my S2000 actually. Interior wise, I really like the new design of this generation. Everything is just a bit cleaner and quite slick. And in terms of fit and finish and material, they are all very, very nice. So if we turn this on, it's okay. So this is the infotainment screen. The response is actually quite okay. Everything's quite standard except for the Plus R app. In the Plus R app, it shows you a lot more information about the car, the status of the car, the different temperatures and all that. So in the center, there's a G meter, or you can change it to like a 3D of the car. If you press on the brake, this will actually light up. That's pretty cool. And if you indicate, the car will indicate as well. So yeah, that's a very fun touch. I will probably do a separate video just on this to show you how it works. All the AC controls are physical buttons and dials, so that's really good. We have the charging ports and wireless charging here. This button here, you can actually turn the wireless charging on and off. This is the heart of the Type R, the manual transmission. It's very good to use, very short throw, very mechanical, and very accurate. So yeah, great manual transmission. This is the plus R button. If we press that, everything goes into full attack mode. And we have the drive mode selected here. You toggle up and down to change the modes. This is in Alcantara as well, which is very nice touch with the red stitching that matches very well with everything else. So we have Alcantara and red stitching here for the armrest. Nice cup holders. They are very deep because this is a front-wheel drive car. There's no drive shaft coming down the middle, so they can design the cup holders to be very deep. So if you put anything in here, it's not going to affect you using the manual transmission gear lever. And I really love these red bucket seats. They are in a suede Alcantara material with Type R logo at the headrest, on the headrest. And we have this very fine pattern and perforation on the seat, which gives it a lot more detail to the seat. They are very comfortable, very soft, but yet the bolstering is also really good. I love these red carpets. They are really plush with the Type R logo at the side. Overall, it's a great cabin to be in. Very nicely finished. Nice color and design and fit and finish. So let's move to the back of the car. You can see I fitted a child seat at the back. The rear space, because it has 4 doors, it's really convenient to use. So kids can get in and out really easily. Lots of leg room, lots of headroom, and kids love the red carpet. The seats are in a suede Alcantara material with red stitching. We have the Type R logo at the back of the bucket seats. Unfortunately, we don't have rear air vents for the Type R. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe just to save weight, because this is a performance car after all. We have a couple of cup holders at the back. So this is a 2+2 seating. This is the door card. We have Alcantara material again for the armrest and rest stitching. But unfortunately, we don't have the ambient lighting on the rear doors. So let's open the rear hatch. The storage space is actually quite large and very convenient to use. There's a bit of a lip here, but it's okay because the car is not that high, so it's okay to lift stuff up and in, so that's okay. But the space and the practicality of this car is amazing. The boot size is similar to a regular Civic. We have nothing down here. We have hooks and anchor points for the child seats. So we're in a Type R right now. I use this vehicle as a daily, so I use this every day to pick up kids, doing errands and stuff. I've driven this for a week now and it's been great. I drive this usually in comfort mode, and in comfort mode the suspension is actually quite compliant, and this engine has got quite a bit of torque. So in the low rev range and mid rev range, the torque is actually quite good. It's quite punchy, so driving around town in slow speeds or even on motorways, you never feel lack of power at all, as long as you are in the right gear. Also, the gearbox is really good. The clutch as well. The clutch is not very heavy and it's not too light either, just the right amount of pressure. And the gearbox is great. It's a 6-speed manual, very clicky, very mechanical and short throw. Very, very easy to use. So that's one of the reasons why it's really easy to drive actually. It's also got auto rev match, and that actually does a lot of work for you. So you don't have to heel toe every time. If you are driving this every day, it does most of the job for you. So even though it's a manual, if you don't know how to drive a manual, or you are someone who just started driving manual, this is a very easy car to get into because it's such an easy and comfortable car to drive. So let's switch into sport mode. So now we're in sport mode. The suspension hardens a little bit. You can also feel the steering kind of firms up a little bit. Auto rev match is a little bit more aggressive. Throttle response is also a bit more sharpened. And the engine and exhaust sound is all a bit louder. So within this week of driving, I find even though this is a front-wheel drive car, but the handling is pretty amazing. Before I received this car, I didn't get a chance to test drive it. So I thought, okay, this is a front-wheel drive car. Maybe there's a bit of understeer that's usually associated with front-wheel drive cars. But now that I've driven it for a week, although it's still in the running period, I haven't pushed it very hard yet. But I can feel the turn-in, the whole handling. It feels very neutral, and every time when you turn, feels like you are in the center of the pivot point. You are the center of the car. There's not much understeer, if at all. So that's really, really good about this, how Honda has tuned this Type R. So it's such a rewarding car to drive. Every time when I see a corner, turning in and feel the car rotating, it's an amazing sensation. This is an amazing front-wheel drive car to own actually and drive. So now if I switch to Plus R mode, yeah, the steering, it becomes very heavy. I actually feel this is a bit too heavy for my liking, so Fortunately, there is an individual mode that this generation Civic Type R has. You can customize the way you want the steering, the suspension, the engine, the throttle response to be. But in Plaza mode, everything is dialed up to 100% basically. The downshift, the rev match is very aggressive. The steering is really sharp, and you can feel everything on the road actually through your butt, because the suspension is actually becomes quite firm, and the throttle response is also becomes very sharp. So it's been a great week driving this car. Even though I only owned it for such a short time, I'm totally in love with this car. It's an amazing vehicle. It's got great comfort, it's got great performance if you want it, and the fit and finish, the looks from the outside to the inside, everything is high quality and feels really good. So yeah, it's an amazing car to own. I'm very excited to own this, and I will be driving this more, and once it's past the run-in period, which is 1,000 kilometers, I will be pushing this car a bit harder, and I'll be producing more content on this to share with you as well. And I'll be driving this on some of the back roads in New Zealand, show you some nice sceneries, and meeting up with other FL5 owners and also other JDM owners, and we'll be doing some runs, and we'll share that with you as well. And I'll continuing update my ownership experiences with this car. So please subscribe and help me build this channel. Really appreciate it. Again, thank you for watching, and again, this car really exceeded my expectations for a Type R. So yeah, hope to see you again next time. Bye.